Yeah. So people wonder what happens to the sages and stuff. Why do they fall? And well, for one, when they come and they're recounting their experiences, they're not being totally honest in what the experience is. When I say there's no mind, they'll come in and say, "Oh no, there's no mind." But then, they're not being honest. There is still mind going. There are still thoughts going, and they'll dance around it and make it seem like it's something other than what it is. So they're not being genuine with what's going on with them. So that's one thing that happens. Another thing that happens is, even if one does have a genuine falling away experience, again, you can go in, and if you're not staying fully internally focused, one has a tendency to go back out again into oneness and the expansion and the projection outward, and then they get caught up in mind because the outward expansion happens with mind. Okay, so when you have the word, there was a word was with God, and the word was God. That's what makes the expansion of the world. Okay, duality. Okay, there's no word, there's nothing to speak of in realization. When all falls away, there's no words at that point. That all has to do with the world of duality and expansion and projection outward. When one finally goes in and it dies to that death, there are no words coming at that point. That's why it can't be spoken of, because words are all in duality. Okay, so again, this is something they can't, well, they say, well, we see you talking, therefore you're in duality. No, the words are coming with the mouth, the bodily construct, but the consciousness is not attached to that construct. Okay, so the words just, they come out. That's all. It's a natural flow. It just takes place. It takes place. The body is still in the realm of duality, so it does what it does in duality. That's all. But it's vastly different from what the consciousness is doing. And this is what they found in recent things, that article that was posted about the meditators, that they had them in the, what was it, the MRI, and they were doing the MRI while they were meditating, and they found out that yes, the ones that are long-term meditators have a difficulty going into the mental spin. There is no mental spin. And they've even caught a couple that had a moment where they were, in that death experience where there was nobody there, Yeah, but every time they kept going into the experience of nobody there, and then again they'd be rerouting immediately, and so again, that's part of what happens if you're in the worldly endeavor and you're attached to that. You'll start projecting outwards again. So that's the difference. So people want to know what happens. Why have there been sages, and why do they fall, and why do they blow? Because again, and this comes from learning experience, from watching time and time and time again what happens with people, that there is a projection outward. And this is why that these type of falling away dikshas are not given for those that are in worldly endeavor, because it's useless. They'll keep projecting outward. No matter how many times they have a death experience, they'll keep projecting outward. As long as they're involved in sex and relationship and all of that other drama, because that's all based in duality. Okay? So what it takes to have a falling away and remain in that is not to have those relationships bond that are only constructed in duality. I don't know how difficult that is to understand for people. Okay. It's pretty simple, actually, you know. And again, realization is the zero. It's not the one. Okay, one can be divided, subdivided into many. Zero is never divisible. It's not divisible. That's why God is zero. It's not one. Okay. Anyway, a mathematician will understand that, but you know, anyway, that's the way that plays out. So I will leave this at this point. You know, again, it's very difficult to try to get these things explained to people that are in the mind of duality, you know, because it's not something that can be logically understood by mind. Minds will not get it, and that's why you can't think your way there. This was the downfall of, what's his name, the one, Krishnamurti, in trying to get their people there by talking them there. It doesn't work because you can't logically deduct your way into realization. It doesn't work. He also had a Kundalini awakening, which he never spoke of. So again, you know, a lot of these things, you know, haven't been brought forward. It's good to bring them out into the open, you know. So hopefully this doesn't cause more confusion for people. Let's just leave it at that. Bye, guys.